Welcome to the Putnam County Board of Commissioners regular business meeting, and today's August the 1st. And I will call this meeting to order at 10 a.m., and we're on time today. First, I'd like to remind everyone that the next FY26 budget work session will take place immediately following this regular business meeting. So it'll be today, and we'll have an opportunity there. First thing on the agenda is approval agenda, and I have one request before we approve. I want to move item number 11, report from the Putnam Development Authority, up to item number 6. And the reason for that is Matt has a doctor's appointment, and so we don't want him to miss his doctor's appointment. So if we could do that.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the agenda with the change in the timing of the Putnam Development Authority presentation and with the deletion of item number 18.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there discussion? So everybody understands the motion. It's to not only move Matt up, but it's to delete item 18, which is approval of the final plat for Thunder Point Commercial Subdivision.
Mr. Chairman, I don't know why we want to delete that. I'd really like to have that discussion.
Well,
Mr. Chairman, I think it's premature to have this on the agenda for today until the appeal, which is pending for the 7th of August before the Planning and Zoning Commission, has occurred, and we'll know whether the preliminary plat is valid or not valid.
other discussion? Commissioner Wooten?
Yes, sir. I would like to have the county attorney speak on this, if you would, please.
That would be appropriate, Mr. Attorney.
Well, setting the agenda is different than actually having the item. So if you take it off your agenda, you would not have any discussion about the particular item. As far as the concept of whether or not you can approve the final plat while an appeal is pending, your ordinances specifically allow for someone to do so at their own risk. So if a person who is subjected to an appeal or has some property or interest that could be affected by that appeal decides to move forward and that appeal is adverse to the interest they've already acted on, our ordinance lays out that they do so at their own risk. So there's no legal requirement that this body wait, but that is within the discretion of the Board of Commissioners. However, we do not have a part of our ordinances that says you must wait until the appeal is finished prior to approval of the final plat. Specifically to that item, it'd be premature to talk about it without it being before the body, and we can discuss that if we get to it, if it makes the agenda or not. But to that specific question about the appeal, our ordinances does not require that process be completed prior to final plat approval.
Other discussion?
Mr. Chairman, it is my understanding that the process for approving basically a zoning issue is that after a rezoning is approved, that a preliminary plat is approved by the Planning and Development Authority, and then after going through technical review committee, et cetera, that it comes to this board, and this board then has the final say in whether that particular parcel is approved as presented. And to my way of thinking, we are putting basically the cart before the horse here. I mean, how do we know that as the attorney says, it's at the developer's risk, but the developer will come back on a court case if it gets to that point with the notion that I've invested all this money in it and, therefore I have property rights et cetera. So it just seems to me that it is premature for us to approve a final plat before the appeal of the preliminary plat is concluded.
Other discussion? Commissioner?
Yes, we may or may not approve this, but I certainly would like to hear what is said on it. So I know we have folks here to speak on it, and I would request that we move forward with that.
Well, let's see, you
Mr.
seconded it.
Chairman, again, the agenda item is approval of the final plat, not discussion of the final plat, not discussion of the agenda item, but approval. Now, if we want to change that to discussion, as the gentleman from the first district would like, that would be fine. But I will not vote for approving the final plat and providing the developer with wherewithal to go ahead and invest additional capital in a process that has not been completed.
Go ahead, Commissioner.
Yes, I mean, it's clear from past discussions and even today that there's substantive issues here and differing points of view. I certainly see item 18, despite the first word, as a discussion. So I would, if I can make a motion?
You can.
we're going to modify a
alter
motion?
the motion. You seconded the other
Yes.
motion,
Yes.
so I believe you can alter this one, and then you can offer an amendment.
Okay, so I propose that we amend item 18 to read discussion of approval of final plat for Thunder Point Commercial Subdivision.
Okay, so we have we need to vote on this first, I believe. Is there a second to this altering the motion?
Second.
So we have a motion and a second. Is there further discussion? Okay, we're voting on the altering. So, all in favor, and we'll do this verbally, all in favor of altering the motion to change item 18 over to a discussion instead of approval. Is that correct? Have I said that right? Okay,
It was discussion of the approval.
right.
Okay. Aye.
Aye.
I am unclear about what discussion of the approval is. I mean, are we discussing the issue or are we discussing
Well-
the approval?
Discussing the issue, as I understand it.
Yeah,
That's the motion.
discussing the issue, ultimately the question of approval, but we're not assuming that we're going to emerge with approval.
Could the chairman please
Right,
restate
yes.
the motion?
Provide, previously this body has taken up the language that the clerk just provided, that it's discussion and possible action is how y'all have previously labeled it, which if that's the intention of the body, that would be
Yes.
the,
Yes, so may I amend my amendment? So amend it to discussion and possible action concerning final plat for Thunder Point Commercial Subdivision.
Is there a second to that?
Second.
Okay, now, is there discussion? Then we will vote. And the motion is for item 18 is discussion and, how did you say it? And possible action on final plat for Thunder Point Commercial Subdivision. How do you vote on this?
Aye.
Aye.
3?
Aye.
4? Aye. The voting is complete, motion carries, and so that item has been completed. And item 18 will say that the discussion and possible action. Now, do we need to vote on the other? I think we do.
that was just the amendment, so now you'll be voting on the motion.
Now, the motion now goes back to adding a report from Putnam Development Authority up to moving it to item 6 and to approve what we just voted on. And have I covered all of the amendments? Okay, do I need a motion for that? No, we don't need a motion, it's already been made. I need to approve the agenda. This is a motion to approve the agenda as corrected.
So moved.
Okay,
Second.
second. Motion and second. Further discussion. Hearing none, we can vote electronically on, no, can we vote electronically then? Cannot, we'll have to do it verbally. District 1.
Aye.
2.
Aye.
3.
Aye.
4. The agenda has been approved by adding, moving item 11 to 6 and rearrangement of item 18. And everybody's clear. Next, and I'm happy to have Avis Williams. I know I saw her walk in. Avis, if you would come forward and bring our invocation, please.
Good morning and good morning.
Good morning.
Let us pray. Our dear Heavenly Father, first of all, we thank you for this day, a new month, our 8th month of 2025, August 1st. We ask that you bless, as we've heard our agenda now being corrected and amended. We ask that you bless our conversation. The psalmist tells us in 133 that how good and pleasant it is for kindred to commune together. And since we're in this place communing together about what's happening in our community of Putnam County, we pray your blessings upon every conversation. May they be clear, may they be concise, may they be filled with concern and care for the entire community, every district, the whole of Putnam County. Bless our commissioners, all our staff, all our folks that are here, and bless our folks that live in this community that have brought their concerns to the meeting, and help us all to be heard in a way that blesses the kingdom and gives God the glory. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thank you very much. Next is our Pledge of Allegiance, and Tom McElhaney, can I call on you to bring our pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. The next item on the agenda is a special presentation, and it's about the Heart Fund, and I'll ask Brandy Jones to come forward. And Dr. Bennett couldn't be with us, but Alan is with us, Alan Horton, and we have a little presentation on the Heart Fund. I've talked about it a couple of times, and I know there's brochures out in the back, but if you all would go ahead.
Thank you for inviting us to come to the meeting today and present this. Dr. Bennett wanted me to apologize for him not being here. He wanted to come, but he's on duty in the ED today, and so he's taking care of patients there at the hospital. But we welcome the opportunity to come and tell you about Georgia Heart. Want to share just a few minutes to talk about how the county has helped our hospital and how the citizens of our county can also help our hospital through the Georgia Heart Program. I think it's important to state, for everybody to understand, that our hospital currently operates at a financial loss and always will. The reason that we have a loss is because of who pays the bill for services provided by the hospital. The financial struggles of Putnam General Hospital are not unique to our hospital, but are the same for most rural hospitals in the state. Rural communities typically have an older population and more unemployment that depends on Medicare and Medicaid. At Putnam General Hospital, over 70% of the patients that we treat at the hospital are covered by Medicare and Medicaid, and both of those payers reimburse the hospital less than the cost of providing the service to the patients. 10% of the patients that we treat at Putnam General are indigent patients, and we receive no reimbursement for the services that we provide to those patients. Over the past 15 years, there have been more than 10 hospitals in the state that have closed because of their financial struggles. So given the financial struggles of Putnam General Hospital, how does Putnam General keep our hospital open? And there are two primary ways for that. One is the support that we receive from the county. Every year we submit a budget request to help offset some of the cost of uncompensated care provided by the hospital. And then the second way, is what we want to focus on today, is through financial contributions to the hospital. The state of Georgia recognizes the financial burden of rural hospitals, and in 2017 implemented a program to minimize the financial hardships faced by communities when their hospital closes. To assist rural hospitals, the state created the Rural Hospital Organization State Tax Credit Program in 2017. This program is also known as the Georgia Heart Program, and it has been a lifeline for rural hospitals. The Georgia Heart Program allows anyone who pays state income taxes to redirect their tax obligation to a rural hospital and receive a dollar-for-dollar credit on their state tax return. And that's what we want to talk about today. So Brandy, who is our foundation and marketing director at the hospital, has a slide presentation that we want to run through and then respond to any questions that you might have regarding that program. Brandy?
I asked Mr. Horton if y'all had a step stool. So I'm Brandy Jones. I am fairly new to the community. We moved here last year, and rural hospitals have always had a special place in my heart because I grew up in a rural county in Alabama, and their hospital is just now about to go to a rural emergency hospital, so they're not going to be able to have inpatients at all anymore. And it's been a slow decline over several years. But so when I got here and I heard about the Georgia Heart Program, I was so excited about it because I was like, oh man, this is a lifesaver for rural hospitals. And I wish they have started a program in Alabama, but it's not to this level yet. And this is such a blessing that you guys have here in Georgia, that we have here in Georgia, to rural hospitals. So I want to talk about what it is and how it helps us and things like that. So if you'll look at the slide up here, Georgia Heart, like Mr. Horton had said, started in 2017, and it's a qualified rural hospital organization. Those are the hospitals that can get this funding. Taxpayers may contribute to qualified rural hospitals and receive a 100% Georgia income tax credit. Georgia Heart stands for Helping Enhance Access to Rural Treatment. And the little dots over here are all the hospitals that participate in Georgia Heart. There are 50 of them. You can go to the next slide. So we have 50 hospitals in Georgia that participate in the program. And when you want to fill out your application for the tax credit, you select which hospital you want your taxes to go to. And 100% of your donation counts as a tax credit for Georgia. And then the cap on that, Georgia sets aside $100 million a year in tax credits, and those are on a first come, first served basis. So when you sign up for Georgia Heart, you are providing a lifeline to a rural hospital, hopefully Putnam General, because I don't know why you'd want to send it anywhere else. But it's for businesses and individuals. And why send your tax dollars to the state treasury when you can use them to support Putnam General Hospital? To the next slide. So these are the contribution limits, and we are in the second part of the year, which is July 1st through December 31st. And it's an unlimited amount. If you sign up in the beginning of the year prior to June 30th, you can see the limits there on that left-hand chart. And but after July 30th, which is where we are, or June 30th, which is where we are now, you can donate an unlimited amount to that and get that 100% tax credit for any amount that you donate. So these are the deadlines. If you sign up at the beginning of the year, you have 180 days from your Department of Revenue approval. So Georgia Heart sends you, okay, you're approved, you have 180 days to make your payment to the hospital. If you sign up after that, they require a payment by 10/31 if you sign up before September 30th, and after that, it's the last day of the year. They did this year because they had several people that signed up last year and didn't make their contribution towards the end of the year, and those dates ran out, and that money, you can be on a waiting list after the cap is met, so they rolled that over to a waiting list, but we don't want those funds to go unused. So each individual hospital can access the $100 million, but each hospital can only get $4 million in tax credits. until the 100 million cap is met. And the limits are there through January 1st through June 30th, but those don't apply to us right now, just apply to next year. Our hospital could get 2 million from individuals and 2 million from corporate. So your heart is in the right place. In 2024, Putnam General Hospital received $1,188,927 in donations through the Georgia Heart Tax Credit Program. So far this year, we've received $1,023,965 tax credit applications in tax credit applications for 2025. We hope to surpass our 2024 total. I set our goal this year at $2 million. We're not quite there yet. We would love to have the 4. But the funds received through Georgia Heart are essential to allowing us to continue to offer excellent patient care. By using your tax dollars for this important purpose, you are improving the quality of life in our community. Your participation will have an important impact on the health care of current and future generations. We want to keep this hospital here for the future generations. Past contributions have helped us purchase vital surgical and imaging equipment, as well as fund updates to our emergency department and rehabilitation therapy department, among several other things. This is the business side of the tax deduction. If you have a business or pass-through business, you can get a state income tax credit, and in some cases for business, a federal tax deduction, even on your federal taxes. And you create a community-sustaining philanthropic impact. So it's easy to sign up. You go to georgiaheart.org and you fill out your application. Your request will be submitted to the Georgia DOR in the order in which it was received. So those tax credits, last year they were gone in early December, so you kind of want to go ahead and sign up as soon as you can to make sure you get your tax credit. And then you would pay, you can pay us at the hospital, or you can mail the check directly to Georgia Heart. And then you file it on your taxes. These are the contributions that we've had in the last, since 2017. We started off with just $419,328, and we've gotten as much as a little over $2.5 million for 1 year there. And then, like I said, last year we had $1.188. And this is, we put everybody's name that participates in the paper, and we do a big thank you. And our business contributors, they get a picture with the big check. So it's a little advertisement for them too, that they support the hospital, and you can see there who we did big check pictures with. That's not all of them. Some of them want to just participate and not be seen or take the big check picture. So, so that's the slides. Do you guys have any questions?
Questions, gentlemen? Yes, go ahead, Commissioner Gary.
Thank you for the presentation. I hadn't seen the fluctuation in total Georgia Heart dollars over time, at least that far back. Mm-hmm. What's your sense of the explanation for why it's so volatile?
So I think that, you know, when it first started, it took us a little while to build the program up. And then I think the economy has something to do with the years. Mr. Horton, do you want to chat? Is that? Yeah.
In the early years of the program, it was not a dollar for dollar credit. It was a 70% credit. And so there was a sacrificial gift of 30% of whatever you were giving. So the program wasn't widely received in its first year. The state recognized that and amended it to 100% tax credit. And so you can see the numbers starting to go up after that first year. The other fluctuations, it's just the economy. That 1 year where we got the $2.5 million, anybody in the state who has a tax liability can participate in the program. You don't have to live in a community where there's a rural hospital. And in that year, there was a partner in a CPA firm in Atlanta who had a connection in Putnam County, who had some real estate here in Putnam County. And she called us and said, you know, I'm advising my clients to participate in the Georgia Heart Program. They don't know any rural hospitals, so I'm going to choose your hospital. So we had significant contributions from people that don't live in our community, who live in Atlanta. And that happened that 1 year, and then that went away after that. Don't know why they stopped their contributions to us, but typically our contributions for Putnam General Hospital are about average with the other 50 hospitals. There are a couple of hospitals that get as much as 400,000. There are some that get as little as 50,000, but we're right in the average with all the other hospitals.
Okay, thank you. And apart from events like this, and I've seen the ads in the paper, etc., I imagine there's still significant numbers of residents for whom this might be of interest, in terms of some significant income, plus live in the community, appreciate the hospital. Has Putnam General undertaken a sort of targeted campaign to really make sure that the folks who might be in a position to do this are aware of the opportunity?
So we're going to do mail outs in a couple months to everybody that we think, or in the community. You'll start to see mail outs that'll give you a reminder. We are looking to, where we're going to do a business breakfast at the Chamber on October 22nd. So we'll be advertising for that. And then our social media, we posted on our social media, and just trying to get the word out. But, in a community like ours, that's sometimes difficult to do. I appreciate you letting me come today, because I know a lot of people watch online. So.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I took part for the first time last year. I'm going to do so again this year. So,
and that's what it takes. It takes people going and saying, hey, you should do this Georgia Heart program because I did it and I got that tax credit. That's what it takes. It takes people by word of mouth and other businesses telling, their friends that own businesses, hey, you can get a tax credit for the state of Georgia, and you can do a federal deduction in some cases. So that's what it takes. It takes people saying, hey, this really is legitimate. This is a real thing, helps our hospital. It takes a lot of people to do that, because a lot of people are kind of scared the first time. They're like, well, I don't know. But then once you do it and you see how easy it is, it's super easy, and it really helps our hospital.
Right. So it's a win-win, right?
It's a win-win, yes.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
I want to make a comment about, a lot of folks are like me, they're not real good on the computer. And it's very simple. Stop by and see Brandy. Her office is when you come in the door, and sit down. It takes less than 5 minutes. She'll complete the application for you, and you'll get a letter then from the state of Georgia saying you've been approved. The last time I checked, there was $59 million left. I know there's less than that now. You may know that amount. But we still have a little time, and if you sign up now, you really don't have to pay it, and you write your check directly to Putnam General, and you really don't have to do that until October 31st.
Correct.
As the little sign said. So I highly recommend it. I promote it, and I've talked about it from here before. I think it's a great thing, and it's certainly a way to see how your state tax dollars is utilized. Other comments? Commissioner Hersey.
What other rural hospitals in the area qualify under this program? St. Mary's, Good Samaritan, and does Baldwin County?
Yes. To qualify, you have to be in a community, a rural community, which is defined as a population of 50,000 or less. And then you also have to be a nonprofit hospital. Have to go through an application process. And there are about 50, but all of the hospitals that you mentioned, all of the ones that are in contiguous counties to us, they all are eligible to participate, and they do.
So Putnam General really is competing for dollars under this program with these other hospitals, and depends, I guess, on where one prefers to get their services done. The other thing that I'm not sure that you clarified was this business about non-designation contributions, that some businesses or even individuals can claim a credit but not designate any particular hospital, and all of that goes into a pool. And we used to participate in that pool, but as I understand it, we no longer do, is that correct?
In the beginning, if someone wanted to participate in the program but did not designate a hospital, the staff at Georgia Heart rotated that non-designated contribution among all the participating hospitals. The state thought that that was not really the intent of the program. They thought that the most needy hospital should get the non-designated contributions first. So those 50 hospitals who are qualified and eligible to participate, they're ranked from most needy to least needy, 1 to 50. And if there's a non-designated contribution, it goes first to the most needy hospital until they get to their $4 million cap, then it goes to the number 2. Our designation is about in the middle. We're in the 20-something,
29 or 30.
30. So that's
So they basically run out of money before
yeah,
they
we haven't
get to
gotten any
us.
non-designated
Yeah.
contributions since the early years of the program.
So it's critically important that people, when they donate, designate Putnam General
Absolutely.
as opposed to another hospital in the area.
Absolutely.
I'm sure there are many people in Greene County and perhaps in Baldwin County that designate those hospitals for their contribution, but
And there's some people who live in those counties who designate Putnam General. My primary residence is in Baldwin County, Millersville, and several of my neighbors there designate Putnam as their hospital of choice.
Other questions? Hearing none, Brandy, thank you very much. I certainly appreciate both you and Alan coming today, and it was a nice presentation. I'll encourage everybody to get by and see you or get online and get signed up. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I've got applications that I'll leave in case people would like to do that too.
Okay, there's some applications on the left table, but if anybody in the audience wants one, I'm sure they can get them for you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Moving right along, next is on the list is going to be report from the Putnam Development Authority, and we move that from item 11 up to item 6. Matt, if you're here, there you are. And good luck at the doctor. Sorry you're having to go.
Good morning, and thank y'all for allowing me to move up my presentation. I'm going to give the Q2 report from the Development Authority. Ms. Lynn. So as you know, we have, for 20 years, the Development Authority did not charge rent to Central Georgia Tech and their facility. We renegotiated that, so we get a little bit of money every month. So the state, on an annual basis, renews that contract so they can stay here locally. Additionally, they continue to send the check to the Development Authority to the Chamber of Commerce. And so I continue to try to get that updated. And I will say this morning when I got to the office, there was an email from CGTC asking to update our billing information. So I guess if you scream and yell enough, they'll finally do something. We've been discussing the CPACE program. It's very new. It's only been done in a couple communities across the state. It's basically taking green energy tax credits and applying them for commercial developments that hit a certain threshold of investment. It's a very complicated and convoluted program, but we do have a company that's mentioned trying to use this as one of their stacks of for financing a project. So we're letting our attorneys kind of figure out what the best method is and if it's something that we even want to entertain. And finally, I've been asked to serve on the chamber board. We're serving with Robbie King, so that's been exciting to kind of see what's been going on behind the scenes for the chamber. The main reason that I really want to talk to y'all today is about Bluestem. Hopefully y'all are getting my emails on the updates, but as you know, Bluestem is closing down operations. I guess the end of this month. There will be 2 employees left to kind of lock the doors. I want to make sure that everybody understands, though, that this had nothing to do with the employees at that facility. It was just their business model it just wasn't working. They weren't making a profit anymore. So what now is happening is the state's gotten involved, and then again, the 160 employees that have remained will, be going through a different processes with the state on resume writing and job skills. They try to either, if they're either going to retire, because the majority of the staff at Blue STEM are 40 and up. I had a meeting with their leadership team, and they have the minority of their employees are 40 and under. So they have a lot of long-term employees that work at Blue STEM. So they will either just retire or try to figure out something else. But the good thing is that when these individuals try to transition into a different career field, there are tax credits that a company can apply to retrain this individual up. So if they've been working logistics forever and they want to get into welding or get into some different field, the state will apply tax credits while that individual is trained up in that new field. So it's very helpful for the company. It's very helpful for the employee because the company is not carrying the full freight of that salary while they're training the individual. So there's lots of different programs that the state offers that we take on situations like this that we can take advantage of. Or when a company makes new investments in equipment, they have to retrain their employees. Those apply as well. So they are going to have a job fair on August 7th. I don't have the current number. I think we had 12 companies that had committed to participate. And I will say to Blue STEM, they've really done a great job of supporting these employees. They're providing lunches. They're doing some bingo games. They're giving away gift cards. But for the job fair, their shift is from 6 to 2, and then from 4 to 10 or 11. So they have two different shifts, but there is a gap. So the job fair is going to be at the gap, but they will. They're going to keep those employees on the clock while they do the job fair. So they don't want them to go to the job fair and not be getting paid for what they're doing. So, and then those that have a lot of PTO time, they're going to honor that so that they'll be paid all of their overtime their time off that they are allowed. So again, Blue STEM, to their credit, is doing a great job in supporting these employees as they go through this unfortunate process. And I will say too that, while this is tough, there is a silver lining. There are very few buildings in the state of Georgia that are this big. I get calls probably 3-4 times a week from brokers in Atlanta and across, the state, wanting to know who they can talk to market that building, because it's a big building with good ceiling heights. It could be logistics, it could be manufacturing, it could be a lot of different things. Like I said, we have one company they want to go in and immediately hire 200 employees because they can't find a facility like this. The problem is that I've reached out to anybody I can find with Blue STEM. They're based out of Minnesota, and even the locals, the leadership team here in Eatonton, they don't know what's going to happen with the building. So I've heard rumors about who may get the building, and if it's a national firm, it's a good firm. I've worked with them in the past. I just personally don't want two things to happen. Either Blue STEM doesn't sell the building and they use it as some way to help their books look better, depreciating the value of that building, or an investor comes and buys a building and sits on it and doesn't hire people. That building is designed to put people to work. So we feel confident that we can get somebody in here that create a lot of good paying jobs in that building, just because they don't exist across the state right now. And to build that size building nowadays, it would be super duper expensive. So we're trying to, again, have get more information. I'm hoping maybe by the end of the month or September we'll have some more information to report out that may be beneficial to the community. The Career Academy, we're continuing to work with them on opportunities to get the students into the ACT Work Keys program, which gives them a ranking of their aptitude and skill level for when they go to try to find new careers. And we're also, the Career Academy has a great HVAC lab in their facility, but it's empty right now because we can't find, and I say we, I'm on the board, but to find people to teach these classes to these students is very difficult. They in Macon, Warner Robins, they're full. They got people down there, but those teachers don't want to drive all the way up here. So that is, I've talked to a couple of different HVAC companies. They're like, we need bodies. Like, there is too much work out here right now. We've got to get these kids learning this skill set, and then at least learn the basics. We'll train them after that, but it's just been frustrating trying to understand how do we find somebody to fit that need for those students, because when they did have a teacher teaching it, the class was full. Those kids were going off and getting jobs locally, and they make really good money. So again, there's some challenges we're trying to overcome there. Oh, my eyes. So we did, I think, Commissioner McEnany, it was your recommendation about using the Career Academy to build our new sign. It was one of y'all's. It was a great idea. So the students built our sign. Titan Studios has filmed it. They filmed them cutting it out, filmed them painting it. So when they get back into school, we're going to film them putting it up on our building. And again, this should we'll be showcasing our local workforce, our students, our pipeline that we call them, at helping us and doing a great job. So the sign looks great. I'm excited about it. But again, it's just something that we're excited again to partner with the Career Academy. And again, I mentioned this last time, the website updates, you don't just snap your fingers and it's done. It takes time to create the new content. So we are continuing to work through that process. I don't know if you've been to the industrial park recently, but ER Snell has broken ground on their $8 million project. I do want to thank the Planning and Development Office. They're not a local company. They're from Metro Atlanta. So rules are different everywhere around the state, and they've done a really good job of helping ER Snell through the process of getting started. They're a construction company. So, they are moving at light speed because they want to get this facility up and running as quick as possible and get the plant that's located at the technology park and move back up to their facility in Snellville. And then finally, we do have one of our big prospects we've been working with. He'll be in town the end of August, and we are hoping to ink that deal, finalize it, and have a good announcement for the community with a pretty major investment and some really good high-paying jobs. And yes, ER Snell's moving out, hopefully soon rather than later. And then, like I said, once that's done, that site will be grassed. The existing sign that had to be torn down will be rebuilt as it was previously. The landscaping will be updated. And then that will be a nice site for us to market should either Rivian make their announcement, which we don't know if that's true or not. And then, we're 21 miles at the crow flies from that site. So we will be a prime location for Tier 1 suppliers for whatever happens on that property. It's a huge property. So the state has invested millions, hundreds of millions of dollars into that land. So something will go there. And like I said, whoever goes there, we will be in a position to help, help locate them here in our community for future growth. And I'm actually going to the eye doctor because I can't see anymore. But well, in the park, again, we're trying to make improvements out there. If you drive through the park, it does not look welcoming. So we are trying to do things to improve the aesthetics of that park for our existing industries. So with that, are there any questions?
Gentlemen, questions? Commissioner Hersey?
Could you explain to me exactly who owns the property out on 441 that ER Snell is currently using?
Well, it's Forest Partners. It's Jamie Reynolds and Ted Baker are the owners of the property.
So that is not part of the Rock Eagle Industrial Park?
That's the frontage right there is the Rock Eagle Technology Park, and it goes, beyond Alto Scientific back into that property.
Right. So, that is part of the tax-free property. So is ER Snell paying property
No,
tax?
so the deal that we made with them was they had to waste dirt when they did the road work. If you had been on that site prior to that site was extremely,
Yeah.
it was going to cost us $3 to $4 million to bring dirt in to grade that site out. So we basically made a swap. You bring the $3 to $4 million worth of dirt in at your cost because they have to waste it somewhere along that stretch. And so they basically have given us an 8-acre site that's padded out.
But it is still, when ER Snell moves off of there into the industrial park, it will still be under the same
Yes.
agreement that you had with,
That was created 17 years ago. That's correct.
yeah, and what is the status of that agreement?
Well, as you asked-
It's supposedly, is 20 years, although the agreement has no drop dead date in it.
No, it's a 20-year agreement. And again, you
Well,
asked the budget.
there's nothing in the agreement that says 20 years.
Yes, sir, it's a 20-year agreement.
Well, okay, so,
Well, I said, you asked at the budget hearing that we had a couple weeks ago. I didn't have an answer. I still don't have an answer. The board has not met. There are other things we're working on, but like you understand, it's not a good deal. I don't disagree with you. I mean,
it's a terrible deal.
Yeah,
It's probably
so-
one of the worst that's ever been entered into, but that's okay.
well, I wasn't
That's
here. None of the board members were
Water
here.
under
Y'all
the
weren't here.
bridge, water under the bridge, you know, but now I mean, either it reverts back to,
Yeah, it would-
the original owner, who is what, Fall Line Properties or
Yep.
whatever that is. Or we work out some kind of deal. I mean, right now, as I understand that deal, you can't, without getting permission from Fall Line Properties or Ted Baker or whoever, you can't sell any of that property.
It's a 90-10 split. They get 90% of whatever, we get 10%. So we sold the right-of-way to DOT for the frontage of that park.
And
They
the
got
tax,
90.
the taxpayers get 100% of the tax abatement.
Correct.
Yeah, great. It's terrific.
Commissioner, go ahead, Commissioner Gary.
Matt, thanks for the presentation. You referenced the city industrial park. Just update us on beyond what you said, the vision for that, interest in that, what we're aiming for.
Well, the sign that was there as you entered the park was on a piece of property that was owned by, actually it was Walt Rocker's father or his uncle. So they were letting us use that sign on their property. They sold that parcel to someone else. He wanted to use that location where the sign was for his use. So we've got to get a sign put back into the park, which is why there's a little triangle piece of property that we want to put the sign in, but we're butting railroad right-of-way and DOT right-of-way. So I want to make sure that there is room in there to actually put a sign and not have to worry about dealing with both of those entities that are very challenging to deal with, as I'm sure you know. But improvements would include similar to what's in Rock Eagle, kind of the stone columns, fencing, the wood slat fence, just to try to dress it up, because when you come into a park like that and it looks like it doesn't feel like the community is supporting our existing industries, which isn't true. They're the lifeblood of this community. So we want to make sure that when new prospects come and we have new employees coming in, and especially right now in today's age where the workforce is so tight, these companies don't want to locate where their employees aren't going to feel safe or feel like they can go out and take a walk and not have trash everywhere. So as the authority, we're trying to make improvements and put plans together so that we can create this better corridor as you enter that area. And eventually we want to bring it all the way down to the end of the street where the South Industrial Park sits. So we do have renderings. We got plans. I can show those to you. I think maybe 2 years ago, I think Commissioner Wooten, you actually brought this up, I think when I first got here. And so we had some renderings drawn trying to show a new vision. It's just taken longer than I expected to get to this point.
And am I right that at this stage we don't have any businesses committing to that area?
No, we have ER Snell, and then we have another company that we hope to have in the next 2
And
months.
that's both at the city site?
Well, we call it the South Industrial Park, but yes, sir, it's in the city limits.
Okay, thank you.
Jeff?
I rode through that the other day, and I saw the progress that's being made. I think that's going to be a good deal with from what I see, you got the 44 corridor out there, and there's also plans for 129. Now that may be on down the road past my house, but that's a good thing because I see that the gas lines being put in for them, and that's going to be hopefully be a big boost for the city, and then the gas lines are being put in to the Georgia Power plant down there. That's going to be a big boost for the city on selling the gas to both of these. So, Matt, it looked like you're doing a good job, and we do appreciate you.
I thank you. The thing about the gas going to Georgia Power is that they're requiring so much gas that it's capping what ER Snell can get. So we're trying to get the city to go back to their provider to see if they can get a bigger allotment, because ER Snell will buy as much as they can because they're having to do a blended fuel on their plant. So,
Any other? Commissioner Hersey? Yep.
Just quickly, Matt, what is the current status on the Helms Farm thing?
as we talked about 2 weeks ago, the board has not met again. So they're on vacation. We have a meeting in August. So I've got other things that I'm handling. They're out of town with their families, so we really haven't had much conversation with anyone about what the next steps are going to be.
So it's really, I mean, right now, that property has been sold by Goodwill to Helms Farm LLC or whatever that entity is, who also bought 26 adjacent acres. So I'm really at a loss as to what in the world is going to happen there. Maybe you could.
I have not talked to Goodwill or Southeastern in a month or 2 months. I was not aware
Goodwill,
they were buying the property. I was unaware of any of those
yeah,
transactions.
Apparently Goodwill is out of the picture now.
I don't. I can only say I don't know.
Yeah, well, thank you.
Other questions? I have one. What's the status of the hotel?
Well, did you see the Fed yesterday and the rates? They didn't cut the rates. So this hotel deal will not happen until the Fed cuts the rates. The cap rates are still too high for the that industry, that sector. So no one's doing deals right now because it's too expensive. It doesn't make sense. You can't pencil it out.
It's not economically feasible
No.
because of the rate.
Right. When the rates get to a certain point, they're ready to pull the trigger and go. Everything's done on their end. The plans are done. The budgets are done. Everything's done. It's just the funding. And the funding in Atlanta, where they partner with their partners to get their money, they're not doing any deals anywhere. It just come to a complete. The only hotels that are going on in the state of Georgia, that my knowledge are the there's 3 in Atlanta, and those had to be done because of the World Cup. That was a part of the deal. If you get the World Cup to come to Georgia, you have to have X number of hotel rooms. So those are being subsidized by those cities. So in the hospitality industry, there is nothing really going on, unfortunately, because of the.
Do you know what that level is? Is it 5%? Is it 6%?
I do, but I don't.
Okay.
Want,
You don't have to. That's fine.
They confided in me what that number will be, and then they'll do it. So yes,
It has been defined. That was my point.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yes, they're committed to doing the project.
Very good.
And sorry, thanks for reminding me,
Commissioner
but just a related question, the boutique hotel that's going in, is that similarly waiting on interest rates, or is that?
That what you were
taking
talking about?
No.
No. He's talking
Oh.
about the jail. I'm talking
Yeah.
about the
Oh, the
old
jail.
hotel.
Yes.
Now, I'm not. We had nothing to do with that, so I'm not sure.
Oh, I see.
I've
There
met
was
with
no
the-
PDA involvement in that
No.
one. That's just a private transaction.
Yes, that was
Okay.
owned by. I think y'all sold it to some individual, and they put it on the market, and these people purchased it from them. So the PDA was not.
Oh, I didn't
involved.
understand that. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yep.
Other questions? Matt, thank you for coming. We appreciate it, and good luck at the dock.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
We're going to move right along now and move into the mill rate public hearing. We'll start with item number 6, the presentation of the proposed 2023 mill rate. And we will go to Paul and Jennifer. Is Jennifer here? I don't see Jennifer. So Paul?
I thought we had the file uploaded. Let me just, give me a minute, sir, to find out.
We want me to take a 5-minute break? I will pause this meeting for 5 minutes to get Jennifer. Thank you.